Hello, my name is Emily Fisher. I'm the Public Relations and Community Outreach Officer for CNB Bank. And I'm joined here by Peter Smith, Chairman of the CNB Bank Board, and Mike Peduzzi, President and CEO of CNB Bank. And we're here today to talk a little bit about the 2022 annual year in review. Peter, Mike, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Emily.
Very excited to speak with you. So let's get started.
Sure.
2022 was a year of record earnings and performance for CNB Bank. As you look back, what do you see as the keys to this strong performance?
You know, I would think first is our investment in our most important assets, our people. We have just a tremendous experience banking and wealth management professionals across our footprint, and they really excel in what they do. And I think 2022 reflected that.
Yeah, I would agree. And I also believe that it started with a board initiative to develop our legacy markets and really drive earnings per share to reward our shareholders for their investment in our company.
And with that board advocation, Emily, you know, we have a very unique multi-brand strategy where we have multiple banking divisions under one bank charter. It allows us to really embrace our different markets. That's been really effective because I think although we have great people to grow, that extra connectivity that we get with that local connection has really helped us even further leverage our growth.
And I'd add there that what we consider our legacy markets and our new markets are all growth markets for us because we bring a fresh banking experience, a great array of services, terrific people that we've got tremendous opportunities to grow the bank's business in all those markets.
Yeah, Peter, to that point, we had double-digit percentage loan growth in every market, including, you know, our traditional CNB markets and all of our markets. It was really a great year, so much so that we thought a great tactic to employ was to do a capital raise. We have the need for even more capital to offensively grow going forward. So we're really excited about what 22 was and what the next couple of years will bring to us.
So when we think about our growth, what are some of the areas besides our traditional banking businesses where we're having success?
Well, I would start with our wealth management business. So we are beyond a banking institution, and so many folks these days have tremendous planning that they're trying to employ, whether it's retirement planning, 401k plans, or individuals who are looking to, better position themselves to take advantage of these market conditions. So we do a lot in the wealth management area.
I'd emphasize that wealth management isn't strictly for those of more advanced years or greater wealth, that it can be an advantage to people at all stages in their life and in all socioeconomic groups. We also have some relatively new and innovative delivery channels, our mobile banking, the ETMs that we're installing in various branches all represent advances in technology and gives us an opportunity to reach our customers and the public at large at times and in locations where our traditional branches, our brick and mortar facilities aren't located.
And then in addition to those ETMs and things that are available to everyone, for some of our larger business customers or municipal customers, we have treasury management services where we give them really specific ways that they can help manage their money, make deposits more quickly, have fraud protection on their payments. And one of the key elements of that, Emily, is that a lot of them are now using purchase cards, which allows them to be very efficient with tracking or managing their expenses. And that provides us a source of revenue as we process those transactions. So our non-interest income is really a significant growth area for our company.
So I'm going to flip the script a little bit. As we talk about successes, I want to hear a little bit more about challenges. In addition to the lingering effects of the pandemic, what challenges did CNB face in 2022, and how did the bank overcome those? And how do we see those challenges looking ahead into 2023?
Well, I thought I would start with rising rates. I think not only did we have to deal with that as a financial institution, but a lot of households are dealing with rising rates and inflation. But those rising rates affect us in so many ways. One good news for us on that is that many of our loans are what they call variable rate. So as those rates went up, we were actually able to attract more interest income, and that helped us offset the increasing costs of deposits. We've been paying people more on deposits and trying to be very fair to them. So we were what we call asset sensitive, and that was very helpful to us. But it's certainly, that inflation is definitely a headwind that I think we faced not only in 2022, but we'll face in 2023, Peter.
Yeah. I think that Mike's observations are on target, and I would summarize that it's just the general economic uncertainty that businesses, that consumers, that households are facing. People don't know for sure what the future holds, and they're hesitating to make banking decisions and purchase decisions and so forth. I'm optimistic. I think the United States is the best country in the world, the strongest economy. I think things will improve. It just will take a while for people to truly believe that and start acting upon it.
Yeah, I agree, Peter. One of the things we hear a lot is the bank has had such a great year. If you went quarterly, we basically had record quarterly earnings progressively each quarter and record earnings for the year, and yet our stock price didn't always reflect that. Well, one of those indicators is that we're in the Russell 2000 index. So when the stock market is broadly down, when they sell in and out of those indexes, we get dragged down with the market, even if it has nothing to do with our specific performance. So one of the other things we're hopeful that the tailwinds of a rebounding market will help us not have to experience downturns in our stock that had nothing to do with our performance.
Let's talk a little bit about diversity, equity, and inclusion. How has CNB put our DE&I values into practice? And with the exciting announcement of Impressia Bank this year, and the launch of Impressia Bank, how is that related to DE&I and our focus on women in banking and women-owned businesses?
So I'm, as the president, I'd like to speak first and foremost, and this law precedes me, but it is a tradition we've continued. We have always embraced diversity in what we have done. We really want both our employee team, our board to reflect those who are in our markets. We're a publicly held company, but we're also a publicly serving company. So we want to be able to embrace everyone. We kind of talk about our golden rule that we do unto others as we would want done unto ourselves. And so we embrace all of these folks as our customers, our clients, and our employees. We've really invested very heavily in making sure that we do all the right kind of surveys and things like that, to making sure that if some measure out there is worth noting, that we're looking towards ourselves and making sure we're holding ourselves in those high standards.
Yeah. Equity, fairness, acceptance are core values at CNB. I've been around the bank for many, many years, and the new DEI initiatives gives us an opportunity to not just announce those values, but to implement them in our organization. The board is 100% committed to these values, and they're not just goals, they are standards against which we judge ourselves. They are standards according to which we manage this company.
Yeah, and Emily, there's a couple tangible things, and we'll talk about Impressia in a second, but, one of the things about a company that's high performing is you want to retain your high performers and attract new high performers. A couple of the things we did this year, we did a full market survey on salaries because, as we all know, wage inflation went up significantly in 2022, and it could be a little uneven around our market. So we made sure everyone was paid within a market value range. We looked at any differences between male and females doing the same position and made sure that they were equitably paid. So we made those adjustments. There really weren't many. That's, again, a testament to the long-term fairness, I think, that CNB has employed across its markets. And then most importantly, we have an increasing number of employees who are given stock grants and other things to keep them invested in the company aligned with shareholders. But all those things have helped us retain this important team that we have and attract new members from really across the spectrum of all of our markets.
Well, as a woman in banking and a member of the DE&I committee, it's very exciting to talk about this and hear a little bit more about Impressia Bank. Is there anything you would like to share about Impressia?
Yeah, I think, one of the things that I learned when I came here was I met so many people. I went on a listening tour, and what I experienced was just an amazing number of female professional bankers. And then as we got our statistics, we realized that 2 out of every 3 of our employees are female. So as we pulled them together, I went with our senior vice president, executive vice president of experience, Leanne Cassav, and one other person, and said, we've got to invest this into a really women's focused bank division, because there's so many ways that we have the right people to make outreaches to them. And we know that there's still opportunities. Our doors have always been open, but it gives them new inroads, new delivery channels to welcome them to our great suite of products and services.
And I think an outlet for people's creativity and their ambition. I'm really excited about the opportunities, what it holds for the future. I don't think we really appreciate just what it's going to develop into, but I can say that the women leading this initiative are off to a terrific start.
And one final point on that, Emily, by announcing it, we've had so much outreach from other organizations wanting to connect with this and see it become successful. So we know we've got the right team, and we know we've got the right ambitions, and I think it'll be a great thing for CNB and Impressive Bank in the very long term.
Agreed. I'm looking forward to seeing how it develops. In what ways has CNB demonstrated its commitment to the communities that we serve?
Well, I will tell you, we have over 750 employees, and we track every year, but the vast majority of our employees are heavily engaged in community volunteering and involvement. It really starts with us all year long, and we do start even in January. We have our Martin Luther King Day, where we, instead of taking the day off as a holiday, we've called it Take the Day On, and so many people start and volunteer in so many ways, but it inspires them to keep going, and it just stays that way all through the year. So first and foremost is our engagement in the communities.
Yeah, again, back to CNB's history and our core values. We are committed to our communities. We are committed to our customers. We stick with them, not just through the good times, but we stand by them and help them through the difficult times.
Yeah, and we make a lot of donations and recognize a lot of organizations through education, low to moderate income places. We know that the strength of our communities is that all members of our community have to be stronger. So we look for those places that we can help to strengthen through those targeted donations or initiatives. One of the most important things I think we're doing in our future is we're participating in the East Side Renaissance Project in Erie, and we're going to be putting a branch where there's a lot of folks that could really use a bank in their neighborhood. We're really excited about that. Again, it's going to be lifting everybody up, and that's really what we've had a successful track record of doing. Our growth isn't just finding those who are immediately wealthy or immediately, accretive to the bank. It's helping build their wealth throughout their lifetime, throughout their journeys, and it's been really successful for us.
And our financial literacy undertakings and programs are part of that. Again, mobile banking will extend banking services into underserved communities, and that has been a significant piece of work for management. It's not easy to accomplish something like that.
Yeah, and Peter, you mentioned the financial literacy. One of the really cool things is when we go into so many high schools, we're at a critical age where people are about to become adults and thinking about things. Carrie Wood and our financial literacy team goes in and really educates them on all the different ways that finances are going to affect their life and give them a head start to understanding the difficulties that they're going to start face when they become full-fledged adults.
So we've talked a little bit about growth up to this point, and CNB has experienced some exciting growth in the last year, particularly in the Cleveland, Ohio, Roanoke, Virginia, and Rochester, New York areas. What about those areas caught the attention of the bank?
I think first and foremost, even though they all seem like they're different geographically, demographically, they're very similar to many of our core markets, whether it's Clearfield or Erie. We can see that there's a very strong commercial and industrial base, very similar to what we've operated in. And I think a lot of those smaller urban areas, we share a lot of those same values. There's a lot of very core values. They value relationships. They have a lot of great diversity that we can embrace. Just wonderful people. Our culture is one where we're very welcoming. We're finding ways to make solutions. And these are cities that are in and of themselves very welcoming areas.
I'd add to that they're communities that align with CNB's core values. They're communities that present us with the opportunity to extend our brand of banking where it will be well accepted. Great commercial and industrial opportunities, which is a niche we're focusing on. So we're really excited about that. The other thing from a larger perspective, they give us a degree of economic security to the extent that the geographic footprint of the company is spread out over a larger area. So if the northern area of our market experiences a downturn, it can be sustained through that difficult period by other markets that we have branches.
Yeah, that diversification principle that helps us with our team really applies to how we invest in and are spread out in a number of markets. One other element, when Peter talked about extending our brand, the beauty is we don't export our bankers out to these markets. We find bankers relevant in those markets who have market equity, who understand and are aligned with our culture. So they're able to just mind their own areas versus us trying to learn and do things in new markets. It's been an amazing journey for us to see how many people have really excelled in Roanoke, in Cleveland, now in Rochester, and our results show it.
So as you look forward to 2023 and beyond, under your leadership, what do you see as some key strategic priorities for CNB?
I'll lead off with that one. Certainly, we want to continue growing our capital. That is the backbone of any financial institution. We want to take care of our people. And by that, I mean all the constituencies out there, our employees, our customers, and our communities. And above all, we want to reward our shareholders for their hard-earned savings that they've invested in our company and the confidence that they've placed in our company.
Yes, sustainability of what we've done over the past number of years, regular track record of increasing earnings and things like that. And again, it comes down to our investment in our employees and their relevance to those communities. We really do. So many of our customers are also our shareholders. So many of our customers are businesses we deal with. So we have a mutual desire to have collective health among all of us. So we're continuing to invest in those communities, invest in those employees, and give that great return to our shareholders. Then it's just a win-win on all fronts. I think also we think about these growth markets as they're really important to us, Emily, but so are our core markets. Again, if we go back and think about we had double-digit loan growth in every market, including our core markets, we're finding ways to deepen into those markets. So let's think about Impressia Bank. We know that half of our markets are full of very vibrant and capable females many of whom are starting or now running businesses that need a better entry point into the banking system than maybe the tradition. And it's not that we're bad, it's just not as easy for them. So we're going to be able to have in all of our markets a new way to tap into more resources that are already existing that we don't have to go anywhere new geographically to embrace an expanded group of professionals.
Another factor that will be critical to our success is focusing on deposit growth. Disciplined, but aggressive, but we need to have money to loan out the other side of the bag to our customers.
And Peter, getting back to what we discussed too on our capital raise, it was a very healthy capital raise. We raised over $100 million of capital. We know that in the stressed economic times, some of our competition isn't as well prepared as we are to face the future. And so it gives us a real opportunity to evaluate merger and acquisition opportunities that can help further leverage our existing capital base and get stronger returns and allow us to really expand our brand of banking to other areas that don't have it yet.
Yeah, I'd also point out that capital raise was well oversubscribed, and that tells me that people who examine CNB carefully recognize that it's a quality institution.
So we're really excited about 2023 and beyond.
It is very exciting. Thank you. Lots of exciting developments over the last year, one of which being a leadership transition. Peter, can you talk a little bit about how the leadership transition from your perspective has gone so far?
It has been a 100% success. Mike was a terrific hire for the bank. He picked up right where Joe Bauer left off. It was well planned. It was well executed. Mike's got great leadership skills, and he will build on Joe Bauer's fine work. I've got nothing but positive feelings about the bond that Mike has established with the board. I'm amazed at how quickly he's integrated himself into not just the culture of the bank, but the circles of friends and acquaintances in the bank, inside and out. So I knew we were going to do it well. I didn't really expect to do it as well as we've done. So I think and these aren't easy. It's hard on an institution. It is hard on an institution, even if you find exactly the right person. So it's gone exceedingly well, and I'm really excited. And Mike, it's joy working with him.
Yeah, and I think, Emily, what made it easy is that Peter and the board's support to Joe over the years, they built a tremendous team. Sometimes when you come in as the new president or CEO, people say, well, they're going to bring their people with them. I only brought myself because as I looked at this team, it was an amazing team in all areas, whether it's operations, finance, the intangibles of employee experience, in so many areas. Our information technology is so strong. It makes it a lot easier for me to come in and have such a great team to build from and work with. And so what do we do to make that better? Well, first, we just look to sustain the momentum. Joe Bauer, over his years as president, led the strongest growth of this bank. So we look for collectively with me and the board to continue to do that momentum and do it even better. And then again, one area we're really focused on is continuing to align our interests of our employees with our shareholders. So again, I can't impress upon you how important it is that we have our incentives aligned on earnings per share growth, that we have so many more people owning stock in the company so that together we all know we're really rowing in the same direction and building toward those successes for the mutual benefit of our employees, our communities, and our shareholders.
Excellent. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. I know all who are watching also appreciate it. So look forward to 2023.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you, everyone.